Today we're doing ASMR.
As some of you may know, I actually grew up in Fresno, California, and I'm definitely a Lakers fan through and through. It's hard to believe that Kobe's gone. I can't believe that his life was cut so short, but just wanted to make a sign and kind of tribute to him. He meant a lot to me as I was growing up. Some of my fondest memories are watching the games with my dad. My dad would let me stay up on school nights late and let me watch the Lakers games, and we bonded over a lot of those Laker games. And I remember him telling me through the championship, at least the first one, he told me that, you know, you got to enjoy all of these. And, you know, I'm staying up till midnight as like a 10-year-old and watching these games on school nights, and you got to remember these games because these don't happen all the time. Well, he managed to do it 4 more times after that first one, and I can't believe that, you know, his life is cut short. This is definitely incredibly sad. He meant a lot to me as a kid. And
so my best friend Kyle gave me this TV so I can make a TikTok with. The last TV I tried to make a TikTok with didn't work at all, so we're going to test this one first. Come on, buddy. Sweet, that's exactly what I need. I need this not to turn off on its own, so I'm going to wait. Great. Oh, it's back on. It's just on and off and on and off. Might as well have some fun with it. Yeah. Let's take it apart, see what happens. Alright, awesome. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Fat ass speaker. Yeah. There we go. It's still not staying on its own. What a weird TV. I'm now curious how these are powered. So these interested me. These put out 19 volt. Alright, moment of truth. Nothing. Oh, my bad. Well, I almost did something. Stay tuned, I'm not done with it yet.
Shit, nigga.
So we need to cut the mating pockets in the actual burl piece. So I'm using a 1/4 inch downcut bit, the 46202-K, to go ahead and remove most of the material. And then the same as before, we're going to follow up with a 1/16 inch downcut bit here to cut the small one, and then cut the corners of the other piece to fit the mating brass pieces. I'm using some Total Boat clear epoxy here to go ahead and get those brass pieces set into the wood. The epoxy will cure and adhere the brass to the wood very well. The pockets fit perfectly, and I'm really happy with how it worked. So I got a mold made for this piece. Basically gives me about 1 inch of epoxy on either side, and just securing it down with the 55227 Nomar countersink.
Vogue. Wow.
It's time to make a catch-all tray for my wife for Valentine's Day. So we're starting out with a piece of walnut that my wife and I actually saved from the burn pile at a sawmill. So this is just a nice piece of walnut. We're getting it all flattened out so that we can get the tray created and make sure that everything is nice and flat. So now we can switch out for the point roundover bit and get the roundovers done on the outside of this piece. It's really nice to be able to do this on the CNC. It makes things a little bit easier and keeps things a lot more accurate, especially since this is a very thin-lipped piece around certain areas, making rounding over on a router table a little more difficult. So we're switching out for a bowl bit here. This is a 3/4 inch diameter bowl bit. There's a flat bottom on it. You can see those lines that are being created there. Those lines happen as the bit goes from conventional cutting to climb cutting. So it's just basically differences in the wood. It's not actual steps or anything like that. The bit creates a nice rounded profile at the bottom of it, and you can see I knew we were going to run into a knot here.
So the other day on TikTok, I saw someone put purple shampoo in their hair for 1 hour. Normally, I only put it in for about 5 minutes, and it comes out looking a little bit more blonde, but theirs came out looking a lot more blonde, so I'm gonna try it. Is this a bad idea? Probably. Am I still gonna do it? Pff, of course. I'll come back in an hour and show you what I got. Guys, what?
Worked really well this time, and there's very little cleanup as opposed to doing it the other way that I had done it. So now we can begin the sanding process, starting off with 150 grit to remove most of the sandpaper on the Festool Rotex, then using the Festool ETS 150, going up to 320 grit to get all of the epoxy all finely sanded. Then I'll just use a Gator micro zip with 220 grit to just ease over the edges on the top. As with everything, I always leave a message on the back, and then we can begin the finishing process with Formby's tung oil. I really love this finish and love the way that it looks. I normally do finishes that make the wood and epoxy look very similar, but on this one I decided to do a little bit differently. So the epoxy definitely has a different sheen to it than the wood does, and I didn't think I'd like it, but I really do. It makes everything stand out a little bit more. Couldn't be happier with how this project turned out. and I just wanted to show a little bit of my daughter's reaction to the piece. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the project, and we will catch you guys back out here on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. So it demolds very, very nicely, as you can see here. So now that we have the piece here, we need to get it set back up on the CNC and get the epoxy flattened off. So I'm using the same RC-2255 flattening bit to go ahead and remove that epoxy. Did a great job with the epoxy and didn't burn anywhere, which was really nice to see, and the epoxy didn't stick to the bit at all. So it just flattened off that top layer. Then I could start the sanding process. You can see basically what the piece is going to look like here. First, I'm going to go ahead and get some text carved into it. I'm using the RC-1102 90-degree V-insert bit. This guy does a great job through this burl on very difficult grain, leaving a really nice clean carve. And I'm just carving in my family's name into it, since this will be a family tree piece. Second cleanup pass built into the Vectric software really does a nice job cleaning everything up. So I went ahead and put down some clear epoxy first, let that dry, and then I'm just using some Total Boat epoxy with some black diamond pigment mahogany in there to fill in the text.